How you doing, YouTube? Matt One Massive Beer Reviews. Back with yet another review. Little wax top funkiness. On today's Massive Beer Review, in the form of Cape May Brewing, it's their Skupper. It's a barrel-aged Saison ale. Let's see what she's got. Cape May Brewing Company. Barrel-aged series Skupper. I have not had this before. I have had one beer like this from Cape May. I was at a good friend's wedding or his reception, his second reception. He got married down in Cape May. Came back at a reception locally. Brought back, I believe it was called their Keel. And I thought it was really tasty. That was over a year ago. But I was lucky enough, a couple weeks ago, Cape May actually reached out, the brewer there, Brian, reached out and said, hey man, dig the reviews. Gonna send you some shit. And I was like, fuck yeah. So I'm super excited to give this a whirl because I'm kind of in the mood for a little bit of funk in my life right now. As far as what it says on this bottle, it says Cape May Brewing Company. It's a barrel-aged series. It's their Skupper. It's a barrel-aged Saison ale. 7.4% alcohol by volume on the back. It says, welcome to the uncharted waters. Cape May Brewing Company's barrel-aged reserve series, accept atypical fermentations, experimental ingredients, and barrel-aged badassery. That's pretty fucking fantastic. The Skupper is an opening in the side of the ship, intended to carry water overboard. Okay, that's what those things are. This is the third release in our barrel-aged series, carrying enticing flavors into your life. Beginning its journey as our Misty Dawn Saison, Skupper embarks on a 4-month voyage in French oak red wine barrels, alongside 4 distinct strains of Brettanomyces, imparting exciting aromas with a rustic finish, with flavors reminiscent of barrels past. Earthy aromas are light. Right? It says life, but it should be light. Light, earthy aromas complement the Saison's natural complexity, finally disembarking the dry finish that leaves you longing for another sip. Left to bottle condition with the Brett for 3 additional months. If consumed fresh, the Skupper is rustic in oak and Saison, but if you stowed away, a far more complex and funky journey awaits. Prepare to weigh an anchor. Cape May Brewing Company, New Jersey. Now, they're talked about date on here. They talked about letting it sit, letting it age, letting it do its thing. Now, I'm sure it's a beer that is a rotational thing that they put out every now and then, but there's no date on here. I'm not going to poop on them too much for that, but I kind of want a date. You're talking about it going to be this beer or that beer with time. You should probably throw a date on there. But other than that, I fucking love the label for a couple different reasons. I love the artwork. 2, it's all screen printing. Folks, there's no sticker to be had on there. Look at that. Fucking old world, man. It's not even old world. It's not like screen printing is something that is just not around at all anymore. It's just, man, so many people take the easy way out. Listen, that's what I'm talking about, man. Texture. You know what I mean? A lot of things go into beer. A lot of things go into things you enjoy in life. If you think you go to a restaurant and they make a great dish and you eat that great dish and you like that great dish because it was just a great dish, then you're a fucking fool. You know what I mean? Like, it's the experience, the ambiance, it's the lead up, it's the build up. There's a lot of things that go into the things you enjoy in life other than the end all be all. It's not the money shot that you live for. It's all the little bits and pieces. Listen, if there's shitty beer in here, who gives a fuck about screen printing? But, usually if somebody's going to wax a beer like this wax says, that I can actually peel with my finger, so it's not something that's kind of like, pre-processed bullshit wax. And some of that screen printing, something they're putting love into the bottle. They're saying, I don't want to put awesomeness in something. I'm not saying the beer is awesome, but they're saying I'm not going to put what I believe is awesome into something that is in a shit craptastic container. So, yeah. I'd be very surprised if this beer is horrible. Am I going to like it? That's another thing. You know what I mean? I don't talk about beers like that. I'm going to talk about whether I like it or not. Sure, sometimes if a beer is like off its rails, I'll be like, this beer just sucks because it's made badly. But most of the time I talk about whether I like a beer or not. And I know I shouldn't go into any beer with preconceived notions, but, you know, I'm fucking human. So here we go. Proper glassware, courtesy of these guys too. So I got the whole fucking, let's snap that in there. It's almost like it fits in my little thing here. See what she's got here. Now it's going to be a barrel-aged Saison. So I'm going to try to pour this in this glass without the biggest head in the history of mankind. But 9 times out of 10, this shaped glass is going to generate a gigantic head. So let's see if I can pour it like a non-douchebag. Well, I'm still a douchebag, but the pour came out pretty fucking awesome. Anyway, so what do we have here? We got a rich, golden, hazy looking beer. From a distance, if I posted a picture of this, you can confuse it with a Belgian Golden, a Belgian Triple, a hazy New England style IPA, a Saison, a lot of different beers. So it's not like it's like, looks like a specific exact kind of beer. It just looks hazy. It looks beautiful. It looks golden. It looks inviting. You know, it doesn't look processed, for the lack of a better term. So yeah, that doesn't suck. Let's see what she has on the nose. That's just the good stuff, man. I'm trying to work with a lav mic now. I had this mic that I used to put over there on my phone, and I just had problems with it. I got a new phone. I got an iPhone 8S, whatever the fuck it is. The newest one, not the X one. And I have this cool microphone. I really dig it, but the program that I worked with, it would fuck up every now and then. The mic drew power, so if I did a couple of reviews, sometimes my phone would die regardless. I started using this little lab mic in here, making a annoying noise for you guys. There you go. And it's weird. So if you hear weird audio variances, bear with me, but I know now that I can whisper because you guys will still hear me. There you go. But yeah, back to the fucking beer. Man, they talk about putting it in red wine barrels. I actually get a Venice thing from there, but it's not this big, huge red wine barrel Venice thing. I get a bit of wine vibes from it. It's a sweeter, non-super dry kind of red wine I get from it, but I also get these kind of wine that's outside of that. I get this kind of just grape tannic thing that's like multiple levels. They're talking about multiple strains of Brett in there. It's got to be leading the way with the Brett C thing. Brett C and I think, I don't know if it's B or D that really goes like winey for me. C is more citrus. I'm getting a little bit of citrus in there, but it's more like a citrus, wine forward citrus. Makes sense because of the wine barrels, but there's also this added component outside of a red wine thing. I'm getting this more of kind of a yellowy kind of, grape outside of your deep red kind of yellow. You know what I mean? Like white wine grape as opposed to a red wine grape. And I think that's coming from Brett's, and I forget if that's like a, like I said, like a B or D thing kind of going on in there, but it's there. I get this kind of caramel thing out of it too. I'm getting this soft kind of caramel, kind of sweetened brown sugar tiramisu thing. It's not super sweet, but it's a sweet component in there. It's not a malt thing. I think it's just an added bit and pieces to what's going on with the beer. It smells fantastic. It smells absolutely fantastic. There's a richness to it. There's an oldness to it. Well, at the same time, it's bright, it's sprightly. There's almost a kind of sprightly champagne-like carbonation thing going on. It also has a density to it. It's not this thin waif, thin, delicate thing. It's a delicate beer. There's nuance. There's depth to it. There's character to it. There's a lot of things going on, but at the same time, you just can't knock it over. There's meat on its bones while at the same time being graceful. If that makes any sense to anybody out there. I'm just going to drink it. Cheers. Wow, that's way spicier than I thought it would be. I get the Saison portion. Here's the thing. On a nose, I totally dismissed the Saison portion of the show. It was more about the yeast in the kind of Brett portion of the show, and the barrel, and the wine, and the graviness, and the fruitiness, and all that stuff, and I got caught up in that. I'm like, damn, it smells really good. It just kind of work. It's like the super on steroids, HEH laden kind of farmhouse ale, yada yada yada. Then you taste it, and you get this big, robust spiciness to it. It's, white pepper. It's cardamom. It's fucking just this nice, spicy, peppery Saison to a max kind of thing. Almost like, it almost has, because there's this caramel thing. I got it in the nose, and I got it in the taste. And then you kind of combine that fruitiness of it. Then you get this kind of white pepper, kind of cardamom thing going on in there. And it reminds me a little bit of like a spiced apple pie, but it's not apples. You're using those kind of wine fruits, and then there's no cinnamon in there, and maybe it's a nutmeg thing that I'm thinking of. I don't know, but it's giving me those kind of vibes. It's giving me delicious kind of vibes. See, this is my jam, man. I can drink this fucking forever. This is desert island stuff for me, This is where my heart lies, man. I've been struggling with that, like, as of late, about where my heart lies beer wise. Not to get in too big of a tangent. This is gonna be a really long fucking review, so if you want to know if the beer's good, it's good. It's delicious. It's tasty. It's a Saison mashed in the barrels, and it works really well. The Brett doesn't come out funky or sour in any way. It's more of a jacked up kind of HGH fucking kind of Saison-y thing that's fantastic. And if you like Saisons and you like fucking wine barrels, but you like a kind of light, gentle kind of wine barrel in a very kind of non-funky, non-bittering kind of yeasty, bacteria-driven kind of funkiness, you'll like this. So here we go. Here's the long portion of the show. You leave now if you don't want to hear me ramble. But I've been struggling a lot with fucking, like, beer. Like, what I really like. Because it's weird, because I get so many beers kind of tossed at me. Even this stuff from Cape May. Like, they reached out to me and they wanted to send me beers. And it was like, hey, we came out with this really good New England style IPA we think you'd be interested in. And I was like, yeah, I'm interested in that, man. But I'm like, I've had a couple of your sour things, and I thought they were really fucking good. So don't hesitate to include stuff like that. And that kind of makes sense, because a lot of the stuff that I end up reviewing is because that's what people send me. Listen, a good portion of what I review now is what people send me. It's not what shit I buy. I still buy stuff, but a good more than 50% of what I do is what people send me, whether it be humans or breweries or whatever, or people I meet. I'm lucky enough, you know what I mean? Whatever. Fucking people send me shit, fucking kill me for it. But, well, it's people will always want to send you the thing they like the most. And the most popular thing in the world right now is your fruit juice laden hazy IPA. So that's what I end up reviewing the most, because that's what I get the most. And like I said, it's no different than K-May was like, hey, we got this hazy IPA. And I'm like, send me this stuff. And I like that stuff. I'm not trying to poo on that shit. I like that shit. But this is the stuff that I dig. The stuff outside that realm. Not that I like those other things more than hazy IPAs. I just like variance. I like difference. I like a brewery that really makes a bunch of different styles. That's why I like breweries like Rushing Duck or King so much, because you can go in and get a Saison or a Kolsch or a fucking Marzen or a fucking barrel-aged Saison or a big huge stout. I like variance. But strip that all down. I've really been kind of thinking about, like, where am I going? What is my favorite style of beer? Somebody asked me what my favorite beer in the history of mankind is. It's always Thomas Hardy. It's this big, huge kind of English old ale / actually, barley wine. And I love that beer to no end. And, if I'm going to be on death row, I'm going to drink that beer. But if I talked about the beer I would want to drink most, like on a daily basis. Like if I were to start moving to a farm, I'm probably gonna really kind of dive into brewing. I've never done it, but I want to do it for myself, just as a kind of vision quest kind of thing. Anyway, and I've been thinking about it, and I think Saison is my shit. I think I've come to realization. I think that's where my heart lies. I came into the beer in the Belgian world. So I love me doubles and triples and quads. I like me all kinds of table beer. Table beer has always been lovely, and Saison and table beer is very close to each other. And I love stouts. I love all kinds of beers. But now more than ever, when I dive into beers like this, they just resonate with me so much. It's just so good. I think I should probably stop reviewing Saison because I think I'm biased. I think it's just always going to be fucking really good. And I know that's not the case. I've had ones that really didn't do it for me, but more times than not, a Saison is really just going to get me in that kind of, holy shit, this is fantastic kind of mode. And I don't know if I'm fair enough to fucking drink it anymore, if that makes any sense. So yeah, and for the sake of not making this go even longer, even though I told you to stop watching, this is a delicious beer. This is where I like things to land. It's not heavy-handed in either direction. In 19 different directions I wanted to go. From the yeast component, from the Brett component to the Saison base, to the malt base, which is rich. It's creamy. It's delicious. It has a nice heft and body to it. The base yeast giving it that nice sweet pepperiness, nice kind of cardamom, fucking nutmeg thing I'm getting on there. Like that really jacked up base Saisoniness. The Brett strain in here, like I said, it's like a combination of a B, C, and D. I'm sure they're throwing 18 different things out of it, but C and whatever that Venice thing wins the day, combined with the barrel. I believe they're two different distinct things going on here. I think it's a complement of the Brett with the actual wine barrel itself. The wine barrel adds an extra dryness on top of the dryness that's already there from the yeast, but still doesn't get overly dry because of how rich and creamy and decadent the beer is. There's so many levels, so many bits and pieces of beer that you can just sit there and just drink it all day. This is fucking fantastic. Absolutely world-class beer. And the stuff I really enjoy. Is that me being biased? If you're still listening to me at this point, maybe. But yeah, I like it. I enjoy it. I think it's fantastic. This is how I like beer to be. And this is the beer I want to become the norm. Maybe not, because then I won't be able to get it and I have to wait in line for it. But yeah, this to me, this is thoughtful beer. Not to be as cut and dry and cryptic and as righteous as that, but this is thoughtful beer. This is beer. Not even thoughtful beer. This is beer. That is beer. So let's talk about it. Is it one of the better Saison that I've had as of late? Yes. One of the best, if not the best. Value and availability? Don't know. They didn't tell me. Availability? Don't know. They don't tell me, or didn't tell me. Didn't ask either. And leave you with, if you like, what will you like this? If you like Saison, if you like depth, character, thoughtfulness, moral, ethics, if you like me being biased, if you just like interesting beers, if you like multi-layered beers, if you like, honestly, if you like what I like, you'll like this beer. I know that's a weird way to end it, but it's true. This is what I like, and this is the stuff I want to drink. So if you like the stuff I like, you will like this beer. So there you go. Another review in the books. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you did, anywhere in between, down there, words and stuff. Social media, Massive Beers. Type it in. Check me out there. Podcast. I do one of those now. I've done it before. I'll do it again. And I'll keep doing it. in the beer world, and that is Beer Massif. Massif. Type that into the Googs, the podcasts, all that fun stuff. Check me out there. Different stuff than what I'm doing here. Long format, even though this review was way too long. And there you go. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review as much as I did. Hopefully you're enjoying a beautiful Saison right now. And hopefully see you next time. Cheers.